Hey, what's going on, bro? So you probably clicked on this video because you're struggling with some sort of anxiety. You know, it's extremely exhausting when you just keep on worrying about what people think, you keep on worrying about something bad possibly happening, and you know it isn't really rational, but you still just have this fear, and it sucks. I used to struggle with this for a very long time. I would stay up all night, just sweating, just worrying about pointless shit. I was super uncomfortable at school. I always choke on my words because I was just anxious all the time, and it was exhausting. And really, when you're just anxious and you have a lot of anxiety, it strips away a lot of your potential and holds you back from who you can really be. And even if you clicked on this video and you don't really have anxiety, you probably do have a little bit more than you think you do. You're just so used to it that you don't really notice it anymore. So in this video, I'm not gonna just talk about how much anxiety sucks and it's not gonna be a fest where we all feel bad for ourselves. No, I'm gonna teach you how to at least make some progress or be on the trajectory to overcoming it completely. And I'm gonna be as blunt as I possibly can in this video. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, and you might think I'm kind of a dickhead, but this is the stuff that helped me. And chances are, you're probably like me. I'm just a normal guy, and you're probably normal. You're probably not as special as you think, so this advice will probably work for you too. So the first thing you need to do is to have more accountability for yourself. So we try to protect our egos a little bit by trying to blame every external factor that just makes us feel the way we are. But most likely, it's not that. And it's from the actions you take in your life. Everything in life and just in this world has an input which results in an output. And most likely, the input is your fault, and the things you put into your life, the things you consume, the thoughts you have, resulting in this feedback loop or like cycle of anxiety. So I want you to realize that more than likely, this is probably your fault from the actions you've taken. And this doesn't mean to talk shit about yourself or feel horrible about yourself. It's to make yourself feel a little bit more empowered that it is your fault, but this means you have control to change it. You also might be thinking, well, I have problems in my life that aren't my fault and they just happened, and that caused a lot of anxiety with my life. And the thing is, that's true and that sucks, and we have a lot of those problems like that. But the thing is, it's still your responsibility with what you do with those problems. Whether it's your fault or not, they're still your responsibilities, and it's only up to you to make those changes in your life. So it's not about if it's your fault or not, it's what you do with these problems. Another big problem that you probably struggle with, that I struggle with as well, is that you sort of identify with your problems. And this example would be anxiety. You genuinely think that you're just an anxious person, there's nothing you can do about it, that's just who you are, and that's the way you think. And it makes sense because over the years, you've basically reinforced your beliefs into setting these certain boundaries of who you think you are. In this case, it's being an anxious person. And the problem with this is who you genuinely think you are will control the actions you take. So when you think you're just an anxious person, you're not going to go out of your way to try to change because you think you can't change. So you're just going to keep on doing the actions that an anxious person does. But the thing is, these beliefs aren't necessarily real. And a huge problem that a lot of us have is that something happens and we get really anxious, or we have like a period of time where we're anxious for like a couple hours. And then we reinforce those beliefs to justify our identity of being an anxious person. And this gets stuck in this feedback loop where we think we can't change. But the thing is, you can change. And a big problem with just thinking you're an anxious person, there's nothing you can do about it, is that it makes you feel comfortable because you think that there's nothing you can do and you can't do anything difficult and this is just the way you are and you should just give up. And it feels kind of comfortable because you're avoiding what you know you actually need to do, which is some difficult work and sort of a difficult period of transforming from an anxious person to a less anxious person. And it sort of protects our egos a little bit because we know that we need to go through a lot of work and change ourselves, which can be scary, but you need to face that. You need to stop ignoring it. The next huge mistake that a lot of us make is we have this sort of victim self-talk. And I'm just gonna say, don't be a victim. And I know it sounds so stupid. It's like, don't be a victim, what the fuck? That's so dumb. And it kind of is because it's so simple, but so many of us have this victimizing self-talk we give ourselves every single day. And all it does is it just makes us weaker, weaker, and weaker. It prevents us from taking any sorts of actions, and it just keeps us stuck in that loop of being a loser. Like, we just feel bad for ourselves for no reason when there's just no point of doing it. So when you go do something difficult, when you have something difficult to do, stop feeling bad for yourself, like, I gotta do this difficult thing. Poor me, I have such a difficult life. Why? There's no point. Try saying something positive to yourself for once. Like, you know what? I'm excited to go to the gym. I'm gonna, grow a muscle. Or, you know what, I'm just gonna try and go on a run because why not? It'll be fun. Instead of just being like, I have to go on a run, this sucks so bad, poor me. Stop. There's no point. So a lot of times our actions are completely misaligned with what we know we need to do, or our calling, or even our purpose. And from this, we try to think our way out of our problems because we know we're avoiding the things we know we need to do. That feels uncomfortable. We start feeling this like bad feeling, right? And from this, we kind of just don't want to actually do the hard work. So instead, we try to think our way out of these problems. We try to think of a logical solution, but the actions are the only things that are going to actually solve these problems. So right now, you probably have things you know you need to do in your life or things you want to do, but instead you keep on doing actions that are misaligned with that. And the consequences of that is you feeling anxious about yourself. So what you need to do is you need to stop trying to think your way out of your problems or come up with a logical solution, because you're just trying to avoid it, because there is that fear of failure or whatever it is, or that fear of doing this new thing that you know you need to do. But you need to face that fear and actually just take the actions in life for the things you need to do, whether that's your goals, problems you need to solve in your life, whatever it is. You need to stop trying to think your way out of a problem or think your way into an action or whatever, right? Stop trying to avoid the problems you have or the things you know you need to do or the things you want to do. Yeah, you probably wasted a lot of time avoiding them and trying to overthink your way out of it, but just realize you're going to go through a little bit of pain and you kind of deserve that, and that's the consequences of your action, but that's okay. Just face that pain and start taking the actions towards the things you know you need to do deep down inside, and stop trying to think your way out of those problems, because that's just going to keep you in that feedback loop of anxiety. Okay, so there's two things you can do that are pretty actionable to help prevent like just falling down an anxiety attack. So pretty much anxiety is like the opposite of mindfulness. So when you're mindful, you're present in the moment, right? And when you're anxious, you're not. You're stuck in your head and you're just falling down this spiral of just thinking about random shit. So when we meditate, we can really catch ourselves from falling down in sort of this spiral. So basically what meditation is, you try to just focus on one single thing and stay present in the moment without having other thoughts coming into your head. When you do have another thought that's sort of intrusive or whatever, you just try to catch yourself and realign yourself back into the moment. So now you're basically training your brain to be more mindful, right? And you're basically training your brain to also catch yourself from drifting off into negative thoughts or just thoughts in general. That's what meditation is, right? Basically, meditation is the gym and mindfulness is the gains. So from this, it's basically the same situation. You're gonna be more aware throughout the day, and from that, you're gonna be able to catch yourself easier when you're about to fall down an anxiety attack. You're gonna be able to actually realize what's going on. So I recommend you try to meditate from around 5 to 30 minutes every single day. Start off small, start off with like 1 minute as a beginner, and then try to move up to 20, 30 minutes every single day, and you'll see the benefits. And it's kind of hard to like start off because you don't see the benefits at first, but it's like any sort of skill. The beginning is going to be a little bit rough, but then you'll see the benefits and you'll make progress and it'll be kind of fun. So I recommend you do that. Tactic 2. So what you want to do is you want to basically just catch yourself thinking about negative thoughts. So basically the first thing you want to do is just realize that it's a negative thought. And that's the hardest thing, because a lot of times when we're thinking about something negative or just stuck in our heads, we don't even realize what's going on. We kind of just zone out. So when you have a negative thought, just try to realize like, okay, this is a negative thought. Like, let's just say I'm thinking about an embarrassing time in middle school. You know, I'm thinking about it, thinking about that negative thought, you know, I'm kind of dwelling on it, and then boom. Okay, shit, that's a negative thought. So now you know it's a negative thought, you kind of woke yourself up. And then after that, realize just kind of like why you're thinking it. Like, why am I thinking this? Just ask yourself a few questions. And after that, just try to focus on something that's happening right now in the present. This could be the wind, it could just be a person walking by, it could be the clouds, it could be the fan blowing over there, it could be literally anything. The goal of this is to basically just catch yourself drifting down like this negative spiral, kind of just ask yourself why you're thinking about this, and then try to realign yourself back in the moment. And if you do this and meditation every single day and try to practice this as much as you can, you'll see progress and you'll be able to catch yourself from falling down these negative spirals of overthinking. So the last thing is you don't have enough uncomfortableness in your life. So right now you probably live a pretty comfortable life. And when I was my most anxious, that's when I lived the most comfortable life. That's when I had the least responsibilities. That's when I was indulging in the most bad habits. I had the most comfortable life when I was the most anxious. And the reason why is because I was worrying about something bad happening, because I wasn't used to any sort of discomfort. So my brain was constantly anticipating when that time would come, when discomfort would come around. And when it would come around, I would get bulldozed because I wasn't used to it. So right now, you're probably not going through many uncomfortable things. I'm not saying to like punch yourself in the face or whatever, but start doing more difficult things, because right now, you're not doing enough difficult things, so your brain's constantly worrying about when that difficult thing will come, when that hard thing will come, and you're not gonna be prepared for it. So it's sort of your subconscious telling you like, hey, you gotta get your shit together. So start doing some more uncomfortable things every single day. This could be just like taking a cold shower once a day, or hitting a really difficult workout, or going on a long run. Anything slightly uncomfortable, just try to do it every single day and build it up. And what I noticed is when I started doing more uncomfortable and kind of out of my comfort zone things every single day, that's when my anxiety really went away a lot more, because I stopped anticipating when these bad things would happen because I was building up more resilience. So right now you probably struggle with a lot of anxiety because you're unsure about a lot of stuff. You're trying to think your way into a solution. You're just overthinking about what if this happens, what if this happens, what if that happens. And what you need to do is you need to basically just get more experience in things and face those things face forward, because thinking about it isn't going to do anything. You need to basically just experience a little bit more discomfort, and then you realize that these things aren't so bad and there's not as much to overthink about when you actually experience the thing. So a lot of times there's something specific that we're unsure about. This could be social stuff. It could be you're worrying about your ability to fight. It could be, you know, what people think of you. And you need to just basically build more resilience in those things by experiencing them more. And then from that, there's less to be unsure about. And that's one of the best ways to sort of reduce your anxiety. All right, that's pretty much it, bro. I hope this helped out. I know I might seem a little harsh in this video. It's just because I struggle with it a lot, and I wish I kind of had a wake-up call because I wasted so much time. So hope it helped out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.